please go ahead.
Okay. The question I had was in reference. Can you kind of explain about the Jubilee to me? Because I'm trying to have clarity about that. We've been reading the book of Jubilees and the book of Enoch, and I just want to make sure that I'm on the right path about the year of Jubilee.
The year of Jubilee is every 50 years. Every 50 years. Like all the other holy days, there's a specific time that we observe this. So the year of Jubilee started from creation. So every 50 years. The actual book that was given to Moses was called the book of Jubilee. That Jubilee, when you hear about the word Jubilee, it actually means something. So a lot of people don't know this, but the book of Genesis came from the book of Genesis is basically a copy, like a copy of a lesser version of the book of Jubilee. The book of Jubilee is where you see the full information. There's a lot of information or some information that are not found in Genesis. They are just not there. And there are certain reasons why they chose to create. The book of Genesis was created out of the book of Jubilee. So that word Jubilee, we're supposed to observe the year of Jubilee. So the year of Jubilee is basically every 50 years. You observe it. But it's something we did as a nation. We did that as a nation. And there are certain things that takes place when you observe that year of Jubilee. In your lifetime or my lifetime, I may get to observe it once. I will not observe the month of year of Jubilee 3 times in my life. Why? Because it's every 50 years. Every 50 years. So an average Israelite gets to observe the year of Jubilee maybe usually once or twice. Because say the person is 40 years old. Let's say somebody is born and they're 40 years old. They observe the year of Jubilee. The next year of Jubilee is not going to come until the next 50 years. It's going to be the next 50 years. So by then, the person is going to be what? Like 90 years old? So usually an average Israelite will observe the year of Jubilee no more than 3 times. It's very difficult to observe the year of Jubilee in your lifetime more than 3 times because it happens every 50 years. So it's not a feast that comes in often. It does not come in often. And the year of Jubilee goes unlike the Sabbath. You see, Sabbath is tied so much into nature. Sabbath is connected to agriculture. It's connected to, most of the time, it's connected to the luminaries, to the moon and the sun. The Passover, the rest of the feast days are connected to the luminaries, as you see in Sirach 43 verse 7. The year of Jubilee is a little bit different. It's a little bit different because it's every 50 years. So unlike the Sabbath and the feast days, which is based on the moon and the sun, you can actually not lose the Sabbath. Like the sun and the moon regulate them. So you can look at the moon and tell when the Sabbath day is. You can look at agriculture and tell when the year begins. But you cannot look at the moon and tell the year of Jubilee. You can't look at the moon and tell the year of Jubilee. So it's a little bit different. So the year of Jubilee is more like something that is passed down from generation to generation. So when you are born, you already start hearing that the year of Jubilee is going to be in 5 years from now. You can be hearing that the year of Jubilee is coming in about 15 years from now. So you look forward to it. That it's coming. Why is it going to be in 15 years from now? because the last year of Jubilee was 35 years ago. It was 35 years ago. So when you hear that it's coming in 15 years from now, you already know that it's counting down to that. So when you get to that 15 years, the whole nation will observe the year of Jubilee. After they observe the year of Jubilee, the next one is not going to come until the next 50 years. So it's not a regular feast. It's not something that happens often. It's something that happens no more than twice or 3 times in your life, that the year of Jubilees happens. So is it important to observe it? Yes. The problem we have right now is that we don't know. We just don't know, when the last one was observed. Because in order for you to know when this one is going to be observed, you will need to know when the last one was observed. So when you go to the book of Jubilee, you see that the information that was given to Moses was from what happened from the time of Adam. You see, nobody was there. No human being was there when the Most High created the world. He said, let's make man in our image. The Most High was there with the angels. Just like you see in 2 Chronicles chapter 18 from verse 18. 2 Chronicles 18 from verse 18. The Most High was there with the angels. And they will have conversation when the Most High was talking about dealing with Ahab, the king of Israel. So how did we get to know what happened in creation? How did we know when the Most High created the world and how he did it? We knew because that information, the Most High appointed an angel to break it down for Moses. It was broken down for Moses. Just like information was given to Daniel. If you read the book of Daniel, you see how the angel was explaining end time to prophet Daniel, talking about the 4th kingdom. Right now, you and I are living under the 4th kingdom. That was the 4th kingdom that the angel talked about during the time of the Babylonians, when the Messiah sent an angel to explain this stuff to Daniel. The same way that the angel explained to Yahonan or John in the book of Revelation, that was the same way that the Most High explained this stuff to Moses. So it was an angel of the Most High that broke all this thing down for Moses. This is how the Most High created the world. This is how the world was. This is what he said. This is what he did on the first day. All this information was given to Moses and was written down. Same way information was given to Enoch. Same system, same process. So that is how we get to know what happened in the beginning. And it all comes down to faith. Do you have faith to believe that report? Do you have faith to believe what Moses wrote down as to how the Most High created the world? Moses did not invent that story by himself. So it comes down to faith. Me personally, I choose to believe that report, that this is how the Most High created the world. That information was given to Moses, like the information that was given to Daniel, John, and the rest of the prophets. I choose to accept it. So it comes down to faith. Do we believe that story? I do believe it. So if you look at that book of Jubilee, or what was said to Moses, he talked about, the jubilees. So every 50 years is Jubilee. But your Jubilee, the Jubilee you observe today, depends on when you observe the last one. The last Jubilee depends on the previous Jubilee, because it's every 50 years. So unlike the Sabbath, you see, my brothers and sisters, see, you can lose track of the Sabbath. You can be born into a Gentile system and you have no idea about the Sabbath day. You can wake up and look back up at the moon and be able to keep the Sabbath on the right day. You can do that. You can track down and find out the beginning of the year by simply looking at Deuteronomy 16. Deuteronomy 16, 1 and 2. Exodus 12, 1 and 2. Looking at these scriptures, you can get back in line and observe your new year the right way. You can observe your Sabbath day the right way by simply looking at the phases of the moon. When the moon is half, that's a Sabbath. When the moon is full, that's a Sabbath. When the moon is half again, that's a Sabbath. But when it comes to the year of Jubilee, it's a little bit different because it's every 50 years. So this Jubilee, if we observe this Jubilee right now, we only observe it because 50 years ago was Jubilee. And 50 years from that was Jubilee. So right now, Israel kind of lost track as to when was the last Jubilee observed. Now, if we go back to our reality, the reality that we face is that we got kicked out of our land in 70 AD. The point I'm making is very simple. It's really hard to find out when that Jubilee is right now. It's not like the Sabbath or the feast days. These feast days and the Sabbath, you can easily find out when they are. But the year of Jubilee, we got kicked out in 70 AD. So we got kicked out. 70 AD, right? Think of somebody like Christ. There's a possibility that he did not even observe the year of Jubilee. There's a possibility that Christ did not observe the year of Jubilee. Let me explain why there's a possibility that he did not. Christ lived about 33 years. Christ lived his life about 33 years. So if the year of Jubilee was observed, say 5 years after Christ was born, or 5 years before Christ was born, sorry. If the year of Jubilee was observed 5 years before Christ was observed or was born, Christ would not have observed the Jubilee because the next one that will come 45 years later. So Jubilee is something that often might happen once in a lifetime of somebody. And because it was passed down from generation to generation, what happens in that situation is that our ancestors, our grandparents who observed the last Jubilee will tell us the next Jubilee is coming in about 25 years, or in about 6 years, or in about 3 years. We look forward to that because it's a huge event. You have to give back properties. You have to give back certain things that you bought. You have to let go debt. You have to cancel debts. So it's a huge event. And what happened was that because our ancestors was kicked out of our land in 70 AD, our ancestors migrated into Africa, settled in Africa. In the 1600s, they were taken in slave ships and scattered around the world. So as time went on, you're not going to have people that kept up with observing that Jubilee. I'm pretty sure that there are some people that continued when they went into Africa, continued to observe the year of Jubilee. But eventually it fades out because this is something that you tell your kids that in about 25 years or in about 26 years or in about 30 years is going to be the next Jubilee. Why is it in about 25 years? Because 25 years ago was the last Jubilee. So 25 years from now will be the next Jubilee. So that's an information that gets passed down from generation to generation. But when you have a nation of people who, because of their own sin, because of their own fault, as the Most High said in Jeremiah 17:4, through your own fault, you will discontinue from the heritage I gave you, and I will cause you to serve your enemies in a land that you do not know. So that right there explains it all. You will discontinue from your heritage. It is the heritage of the Israelites to observe the year of Jubilee. So you can clearly see how this holiday can easily be lost. And that's how we lost it. So it's kind of hard for somebody to tell you right now that the year of Jubilee, the only thing we can do is to start all over. So we can say that, okay, no problem. We can say that we can come together and observe, pray really hard. Pray, fast and pray for Yah to, because the Most High knows. We may not know. You and I may not know when the year of Jubilee is. And there's a possibility that it has actually come and gone in our lifetime and we don't even know it. So we can pray for the Most High to guide us and reveal to us when the right year is. And then we observe it. Then we go on to pass it down to our children and say the next Jubilee is going to be 50 years from now. And some of us will be alive to make sure that they observe it. So it's something that goes from generation to generation. But when the Israelites forget who they are, like you see, when after the death of Joshua, the Bible says that there arose a new generation of Israelites who did not know the Most High. So a whole new generation came up. Like today, majority of Israelites today have no idea who they are. They will tell you, I'm from Jamaica, I'm from Trinidad, I'm from Chicago, I'm from New York. So they identify with wherever they are. They don't know who they are because Jeremiah 17:4 has come to pass. He said that you will discontinue from your heritage and you will serve your enemies in a land that you do not know. So that's the situation with the year of Jubilee right now. But we shouldn't give up. When it comes to these issues, I like to be very optimistic and not complicate things. So we should be optimistic and at least keep the Sabbath, the one that we know for sure. We know for sure when the Sabbath day is because it's all based on the phases of the moon. We observe the Sabbath day, we observe the feast day, and so we keep on doing that. We keep on observing the ones that we know, and we pray that. I am pretty sure that if we know exactly when the year of Jubilee is, we will observe it, and the Most High knows that. So what's happening to us is that things are being restored. Things are being restored. A lot of these things are being restored back. So that's what's going on right now. A lot of things are being restored, and in the future, eventually in the future, the year of Jubilee is going to be observed. Eventually. It's just a matter of time. The Most High knows. So we will get all these things back. But for now, it's really difficult to be able to tell when. I think I'm going to read this scripture real quick and then I'll stop because I think I've explained this a lot. And you might have a thought, you might have something that you want to say, and I don't want you to forget your thought. So I'm going to read this scripture real quick because we're talking about, scripture here. We're talking about something biblical. So the scripture that we have for this is going to be, let me read Leviticus 25. So, I'm not gonna read the whole thing. So Leviticus 25. I'm gonna read this real quick. So it says from verse 8, count off. I think it's better to start from verse 1. It says, and Yah said to Moses at Mount Sinai, speak to the Israelites and say to them, when you enter the land I'm going to give you, the land itself must observe a Sabbath to Yah. For 6 years sow your field, and for 6 years prune your vineyard and gather crops. But in the 7th year, the land is to have a year of Sabbath rest. A Sabbath to Yah. Do not sow your field or prune your vineyard. Do not reap what grows of itself or harvest the grape of your intended vine. The land is to have a year of rest. Whatever the land yields during the Sabbath year will be food for you, for yourself, for your male and female servant, and the hired worker, a temporary resident who live among you, as well as for your livestock and the wild animals in your land. Whatever the land produces may be eaten. So when you grow your food at the 7th year, you don't grow anything. You allow the land to rest. It's unhealthy to keep on growing food in the land every year, non-stop, you will eventually war out the land. You need to allow the land to, because when you put your food inside the ground, the land will get to work. The land will work and produce that food for you. So the Most High is saying that you are to let the land rest every year. I don't think that the heathens are doing this. These people who are growing the food that we eat, I don't think that they do this. But the Most High said when you go into the land, you are to do this. So whenever you're in the land, this is how anybody anywhere should be growing food anyway. And it makes sense that you should allow the land to kind of rest a little bit for like a year. Verse 8, count off 7 Sabbath. Count off 7 Sabbath years. 7 times 7 years. So that the 7 Sabbath years amount to a period of 49 years. Then have the trumpet sounded everywhere on the 10th day of the 7th month. On the day of atonement, sound the trumpet throughout your land. Consecrate the 50th year and proclaim liberty throughout the land to all its inhabitants. It shall be a jubilee for you. Each of you is to return to your family. Each of you is to return to your family property, and to your own clan. Verse 11, the 50th year shall be a jubilee for you. Do not sow and do not reap what grows of itself, or harvest the intended vines, for it is a jubilee, and it is to be holy for you. Eat only what is taken directly from the field. Verse 13, Leviticus 25:13. I'm in Leviticus 25. In this year of Jubilee, everyone is to return to their own property, meaning like to your own tribe, to your own people. Verse 14, if you sell land to any of your own people or buy land from them, do not take advantage of each other. You are to buy from your own people on the basis of the number of years since the Jubilee, and they are to sell to you on the basis of the number of years left before the Jubilee, the number of years left for harvesting crops. Verse 16, when the years are many, you are to increase the price, and when the years are few, you are to decrease the price, because what is really being sold to you is the number of crops. Do not take advantage of each other, but fear your God. I am Yahweh your Elohim. So when we buy stuff, I can sell a property for you or to you, but I can get that property back on the month of Jubilee. So if I sell it to you, I'm selling it to you for whatever years they left, maybe 25 years before the next Jubilee. So when that time comes, I get it back. If you sell if you sell a property to me, I pay you for the property. Then on the year of Jubilee, you get it back. I can keep on reading. I think I stopped at verse 17. Verse 18, Leviticus 25. Follow my decree and be careful to obey my laws. That's verse 18, Leviticus 25:18. Follow my decrees and be careful to obey my laws, and you will live safely in the land. Verse 19, then the land will yield its fruit, and you will eat your fill and live there in safety. Verse 20, you may ask, what will we eat in the 7th year if we do not plant or harvest our crops? Verse 21, I will send you such a blessing in the 6th year that the land will yield enough for 3 years. Verse 22. While you plant during the 8th year, you will eat from the old crops and will continue to eat from it until the harvest of the 9th year comes in. Verse 23. The land must not be sold permanently. The land must not be sold permanently. Now, I'm going to ask a question real quick before I keep on reading. Why did he say that land should not be sold permanently? Anybody knows? Israelites are not supposed to sell their land permanently. Anybody happens to know why? If you sell a land, you get it back after 50 years. You get your land back. So anybody happens to know why?
Well, I'm not sure if this is right, but I'm just going to say because it's an inheritance from our father. So as I just assume that it's not supposed to go outside of, if he's our father and he gave it to us, his children, we shouldn't sell it or just get rid of it because it's a gift. So it's an inheritance. So it should stay within the tribe or the family, I assume. I don't know.
You are right, sister. You're 100% right. The reason you gave is the reason, because it's an inheritance. So you might need some money. You might need some money and you sell your property. It's very clear to everybody. The person who is buying the property knows that you are going to get it back on the year of Jubilee. So let's say the next Jubilee is going to be in the next 25 years. When that 25 years comes, you get your property back. Get your land back. Now what happens is this, because we're human beings. So this is what happens. If the year of Jubilee is going to be in about 5 years, I can tell you nobody's going to buy your property. Or the price is going to be very low. Because really, you're not really selling it. You're just renting it out because you're going to get it back. So if you sell me a property on the year of Jubilee, you will get your property back. That's the way it works. Now, me, I am guilty of this right now. I have bought some land. I have a couple of land that I've bought from people where I pay them, bought the land. I don't know when I can give them the land back. Do I want to give them the land back? Honestly, no. I paid them for the land. I got the land. Even where my house is, I bought a land and built the house. So that house belongs to me. I have other properties, other land that I bought, which was sold to me. When am I going to give them back to them? I don't know. I don't know when the year of Jubilee is. So, and I am not in the land of Israel, of course. So, but if we are in the land of Israel and we know exactly when the year of Jubilee is, honestly, I wouldn't buy those land. I wouldn't buy them. But let's keep reading, because unless if somebody wanted to say something, but I'll keep on reading Leviticus 23. So it said that you're not supposed to like sell your land permanently. So Leviticus chapter 23, Leviticus 23, I'm sorry, 25, verse 23, sorry. Leviticus 25, it's talking about the book of Jubilee, or the year of Jubilee. Leviticus 25, continuing from verse 23. The land must never be sold on a permanent basis. For the land belongs to me. You are only foreigners and tenant farmers working for me. This is the Most High speaking. Because the land belongs to him, the Holy Land. Although right now, he put our enemies in that land right now. Like it says in Ezekiel chapter 7, 24. Ezekiel 7:24, that he will put the worst of the Gentiles to dwell in our houses. So right now, our land is occupied by our enemies right now, as you see in Luke chapter 24, or Luke 21, Luke chapter 21 from verse 20. He said that the Gentiles will trample on that land. The Gentiles will trample on the land until the times of the Gentiles is fulfilled. So I'll continue from verse 24. Leviticus 25:24. With every purchase of land, you must grant the seller the right to buy it back. Each time you purchase a land, keep in mind that the seller will get their land back. Verse 25, Leviticus 25:25. If one of your fellow Israelites falls into poverty and is forced to sell some family land, then a close relative should buy it back for him. Verse 26, if there is no close relative to buy the land, but the person who sold it gets enough money to buy it back. Verse 27, then he has the right. Can you guys hear me? I want to make sure you can hear me. My phone is...
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So verse 27, then he has the right to redeem it from the one who bought it. The price of the land will be discounted according to the number of years until the next year of Jubilee. So again, if let's say that the year of Jubilee was last year, that means that the next year of Jubilee will be 49 years from now. So everybody selling a property right now will make a lot more money, because they're not going to get it back until the next 49 years. And if you think about it, my brothers and sisters, like the Most High said, we are strangers to this world. We're just tenants. We're strangers. So if you buy property, the best time as an Israelite, the best time to buy property is at the end of year of Jubilee, because you get to keep it for the next 49 years. That's enough time to use that property. Even if you want to build a house in that property, you can build a house and the house will be there for the next 40 years. By then I'll be dead. So, but it allows the land to remain with the family. The inheritance, like the sister said, the inheritance stays with the family. And the person who needs money can utilize their property, get some money, solve their problem without losing their property completely. Having a land is part of our right as Israelites. In my culture, we get land. Your family will give you a land. Ask anybody who is Igbo. Any Igbo man, your family are obligated. Your father must give you a land. You inherit a land. You're obligated to get properties from your family, from your father. Every Hebrew, every Igbo person, because that is part of our culture as Hebrews. Now, if you know anybody in your neighborhood or in your city, the next time you run into somebody and you ask them, where are you from? And they tell you, I'm from Nigeria. Ask them, are you Igbo? If they are Igbo, ask them, is it true that every man inherits a land from the family, from the father? So the first son in my culture, the Igbo culture, automatically owns the father's property, the father's compound, automatically. So the women do not get land. The reason for that is because they do get married. And the Most High, as you can see in the book of Numbers, the Most High addressed this issue. So if you don't mind, if you permit me, I would like to go to Numbers to kind of show you what the Most High said when this issue came up as to the sisters whether they can get land or whether they can get a property. So I'm going to quickly read this real quick. Numbers 27. This issue did come up. So in our culture, both the Igbo culture and the Hebrew culture, only the men get to inherit the property from their fathers, not the sisters. But we do have an exception that the Most High gave. Our Heavenly Father gave an exception that this is the condition to which women can inherit the land. And this is the exception here. It's found in Numbers 27. Numbers 27. This is still part of the topic of the year of Jubilee, because we're talking about, the year of Jubilee. That's the point. But I want to read Numbers 27. It says in Numbers 27 from verse 1, one day a petition was presented by the daughters of Zalfohab, Mala, Noah, Hogla, Milcah, Tirzah. Their father, Zalfohab, was a descendant of Hapha, son of Gilad, son of Machir, son of Manasseh, son of Joseph. So it gives you the names of these women, the names of these girls, and their father's name. Verse 2, Numbers 27 verse 2. These women stood before Moses and Eleazar the priest, the tribal leaders, and the entire community at the entrance of the tabernacle. Verse 3, our father died in the wilderness, they said. He was not among Korah's followers. Our father was not part of Korah's followers. If you remember in Numbers 16, Numbers chapter 16, if you remember, you read about Korah, Dathan, and Abiram, these men that began to oppose Moses, and the Most High eventually killed them. So these girls are saying that their father was not part of those men. You see in Numbers 16. So they said, verse 3, Numbers 27 verse 3, our father did not die in the wilderness. They said, he was not among Korah's followers who rebelled against Yah. He died because of his own sin, but he had no sons. Verse 4, why should the name of our father disappear from his clan just because he has no sons? Give us property along with the rest of our relatives. Verse 5, so Moses brought their case before Yah, and Yahweh replied to Moses. Verse 7, the claim of the daughters of Zelophehad is legitimate. Their claim is legitimate. You must give them a grant of land along with their father's relatives. Assign them the property that will have been given to their father. Verse 8, and give the following instructions to the people of Israel. If a man dies and has no son, then give his inheritance to his daughters. Verse 9, and if he has no daughters either, transfer his inheritance to his brothers. Verse 10, if he has no brothers, give his inheritance to his father's brothers. Verse 11, if his father has no brothers, give inheritance to the nearest relative in his clan. This is a law or requirement for the people of Israel, just as Yah commanded Moses. So that is where we see that the women can get the property if their father has no son. But that's not the end. If we go to Numbers, if we keep going, we come to chapter 36. Numbers 36 is another place you see about these girls, because their case was not over. their case came up again. If you go to Numbers 36, so I'm going to read a little bit from there too. Numbers 36, from verse 1. It says, Then the heads of the clans of Gilead, descendant of Machir, son of Manasseh, son of Joseph, came to Moses and the family leaders of Israel with a petition. Verse 2, they said, Yah instructed you to divide the land by sacred lot among the people of Israel. You were told by Yah to give the grant of land owned by our brother Zapholab to his daughters. Verse 3, but if they marry men. So what's going on here is that these women petitioned. They came to Moses and Aaron and they complained, we are not getting our father's property, our father's inheritance. We're not getting it because we're women. And that's if this property goes to our father's brothers, our father's name is going to die out. So the Most High responded to their petition and said that the land should be given to them. That's Numbers 27. What we see here in Numbers 26 or Numbers 36 is that there are some men who brought a counter petition. There are some men that brought a counter petition to Moses. And they are saying that you can't give property to these women. If you give them this land, they are going to get married and they will live with the land. The land will automatically go to their husbands. So that's their counter claim. So let's see how the Most High responded to the counter claim that these men made. So it says, starting from verse 2, Numbers 36 verse 2, they said, Yah instructed you to divide the land by sacred lot among the people of Israel. You, Moses, were told by the Most High, by Yah, to give the grant of land owned by our brother Zelophehad to his daughters. But, verse 3, but if they marry men from another tribe, their grant of land will go with them to the tribe into which they marry. In this way, the total area of our tribal land will be reduced. Verse 4, then when the year of Jubilee comes, their portion of land will be added to that of the new tribe, causing it to be lost forever to our ancestral tribe. Verse 5, I don't know if you guys understand what these men are saying. These men are saying that if you give this land, just to let you know, we are not going off topic. We are not going off topic. We're still on topic, because you look at verse 4. Look at their point. They're talking about the year of Jubilee in verse 4. Numbers 36 verse 4. They mentioned the year of Jubilee. So we're still on point. So verse 4, it says, then when the year of Jubilee comes, their portion of land will be added to that of the new tribe, causing it to be lost forever in our ancestral tribe. So if we allow these women to get their father's property, but then men from other tribes comes and marries them, at the year of Jubilee, these land are going to become the property of those tribes. So, in other words, let's say you live in New York City. You live in New York. Your father is from New York. So your father has no sons, and your father only has girls. And you guys inherit your father's property. Landed property, real estate, we call it today, real estate. So you inherited a couple of real estate properties from your father. But a man from New Jersey comes and marries you. a man from New Jersey marries you, that means that that property that you inherited from your father in New York now belongs, because once a man from New Jersey marries you, you are no longer from your father's tribe. You're no longer from New York. As a woman, if you're from the tribe of Benjamin and a man from tribe of Issachar marries you, that's why you answer his name. You become from that tribe. You are now part of the new tribe that married you. So the problem with this is that you're going to have people from New Jersey who is now owning a lot of property in New York through marriage. And that's going to create confusion. That's going to damage the whole point of giving you land by tribal. Because people speak against tribalism. People speak against it as if it's a bad thing. No, tribalism is not a bad thing. Being tribal, sticking with your own tribe is not a negative thing. The heathen, the Gentiles who control the world today, they don't understand tribalism because it was never given to them. They don't understand it. So they speak against it, and we don't understand, and we go along with them. It's okay to be tribal. The Most High decided to make his people into tribal, 12 tribes. And the Most High wants every tribe to stick with their own people. Marry from your own tribe. The Most High prefer a tribe of Benjamin to marry from tribe of Benjamin. Tribe of Gag to marry from tribe of Gag. Tribe of Judah to marry from tribe of Judah. The Most High doesn't want us to be just going all everywhere, just all over everywhere. So he wants order. Stick to your own tribe. So there's a particular portion of land that was given, real estate, that was given to every tribe. So your duty is to use it, make the best out of it, use it to the best of your ability, enjoy that property, and that property will be passed down to your children. And your children will pass it down to their children. So when you have a situation where a sister inherits a property, but then once a man from another tribe marries her, before you realize it, you're going to have one tribe who will actually own a lot more property in a different tribe. That will create a problem. That was why these men came here to make this petition to Moses. And Moses, of course, when they brought the petition, I'm going to continue from verse 4. Jubilees, Numbers 36 verse 4. Numbers 36 4. Then when the year of Jubilee comes, their portion of land will be added to that of the new tribe, causing it to be lost forever to our ancestral tribe. Verse 5. So Moses gave the Israelites this command from Yah. The claim of the men of tribe of Joseph is legitimate. So just like the sisters who made petition, just like those sisters that came and petitioned for this case to be looked into, the Most High said that those women were right. If their father has no son, they should get their father's property. Now, there was a counter petition that was made. When Moses looked at this petition, this complaint, Moses said that the Most High said, yes, these men are also right. The women were right by their complaint, and here is how you handle it. These men that also came and made a complaint, the Most High is saying that these men are right too. So now here's the solution, what you guys have to do to resolve this issue. Verse 5, Numbers 36 verse 5. So Moses gave the Israelites this command from Yah. The claim of the men of tribe of Joseph is legitimate. I'm reading from New Living Translation, just by the way, New Living Translation, just to make the English a little bit easier. So the claim of the men of tribe of Joseph is legitimate. Verse 6. This is what Yah commands concerning the daughters of Zelophehad. Let them marry anyone they like, as long as it is within their own ancestral tribe. Let them marry anyone that they like, as long as they are marrying within their tribe. Verse 7. none of the territorial land may pass from tribe to tribe. So the Most High wants us to be tribal. He doesn't want us to start mixing. Every tribe should keep their own land. Verse 7, none of the territorial land may pass from tribe to tribe. For all the land given to each tribe must remain within the tribe to which it was first allotted. Verse 8, Numbers 36 verse 8, the daughters throughout the tribe of Israel who are in line to inherit property must marry within their tribe, so that all the Israelites will keep their ancestral property. Verse 9, no grant of land may pass from one tribe to another. Each tribe of Israel must keep its allotted portion of land. Verse 10, the daughters of Zelophehad did as Yah commanded Moses. Mahlah, Tirzah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Noah all married cousins of their father's side. They all married cousins of their father's side. Verse 12, they married into the clan of Manasseh, son of Joseph. Thus, their inheritance of land remained within their ancestral tribe. Verse 13, these are the command and regulation Yah gave to the people of Israel through Moses while they were camped on the plains of Moab beside the Jordan River across from Jericho. So that's the whole chapter of Numbers 36. So, which then brings us back to Leviticus 25 that deals with the year of Jubilee. The chapter I just read has to do with year of Jubilee too, because it has to do with land. And here in Leviticus 25, we are reading that here is the law when it comes to selling properties. So I think I stopped at, and if you do have any question, please feel free to stop me, because I don't want you to lose your thought. If something comes to your mind, feel free to stop me, so you don't forget what you're thinking. So, yeah, go ahead. I don't know. Somebody's mic is on. Go ahead.
I was fixing to say, I think you stopped at around verse 27 or 28 of Leviticus 25.
Okay, Leviticus. Yeah, I'm looking to find out where I stopped. So I guess I will start from. Let me start from verse 24. So, with every purchase of land, you must grant the seller the right to buy it back. Verse 25, if one of your fellow Israelites falls into poverty and is forced to sell some family land, then a close relative should buy it back for him. Verse 26, if there is no close relative to buy the land, but the person who sold it gets enough money to buy it back. Verse 27, then he then has the right to redeem it from the one who bought it. The price of the land will be discounted according to the number of years until the next year of Jubilee. In this way, the original owner can then return to the land. Verse 28, but if the original owner cannot afford to buy back the land, it will remain with the new owner until the next year of Jubilee. In the year of Jubilee, the land must be returned to the original owners so they can return to their family land. So if you sell me a land, like for example, here's a practical example. My house right now sits on a land to which I bought from a family. I bought the land from them. Actually, I bought the first land, it was too small. I bought another one and added to it. And later on, I bought another one. And it's like I bought land 3 different times. So in one area, one location, I bought this property, and then I bought the one next to it, and then the one next to it. So technically, according to the law, I am supposed to return this land to the owners on the year of Jubilee. It has to be returned, and they don't have to pay anything. But if they want to get the land back before the year of Jubilee, then they have to pay. They have to pay to get it back. They can redeem it back if they want to. But if they don't have any money, then automatically they will get their property back on the year of Jubilee. They get it back. That's verse 28. But if the original owner cannot afford to buy back the land, it will remain with the new owner until the next year of Jubilee. In the year of Jubilee, the land must be returned to the original owners so they can return to their family land. Verse 29. Anyone who sells a house inside a walled town, anyone that sells a house inside a walled town has the right to buy back for a full year after its sale. So anybody that sells a property inside the main city, the walled area, has the right to buy it back for a full year after its sale. During that year, the seller must retain the right to buy it back. Verse 30, Leviticus 25:30. But if it is not bought back within 1 year, within a year, the seller of the house within the walled town cannot reverse it. So if you sell me a property, it's like money back guarantee for 1 year. So I can sell you a property and I can get it back within a year. I can get back the property. So it's probably not a good idea for you to start building something there. But this is talking about a house. So a house is already there. So the person that sold you the property can return back to you. They can use the money and do whatever they need to use the money for. If they get the money back, they can come back to you within a year and give you back your money, and you have no choice but to give them back the property. But if you're not able to redeem that property within a year, then it stays with them. Verse 30, but if it is not bought back within a year, the sale of the house within the walled town cannot be reversed. It will become the permanent property of the buyer. It will not be returned to the original owner in the year of Jubilee. Verse 31, but a house in a village, a settlement without fortified walls, will be treated like property in the countryside. Such a house may be bought back at any time, and it must be returned to the original owner in the year of Jubilee. Verse 32, the Levite always have the right to buy back a house they have sold within the towns allotted to them. Verse 33, any property that is sold by the Levite, all houses within the Levitical town, because you have a town of the Levitical town, any houses within the Levitical towns must be returned in the year of Jubilee. After all, the houses in the towns reserved for the Levite are the only property they own in all Israel. Verse 34, the open pastured land around the Levitical towns may never be sold. It is their permanent possession. So that's the law in terms of property as it relates to the year of Jubilee. And the year of Jubilee, as you can tell, is a year that a lot of us Israelites have great interest. When the year of Jubilee is coming, some people are smiling, very happy. Some people are in panic. Whenever the year of Jubilee is coming, people are in panic. Some people will be in a panic mode because they know they have to give that land back. They have to give that property back. So some people will not be happy. Meanwhile, some people will be very happy. They are so happy that the year of Jubilee is finally coming. So they're going to get their property back. Those who are currently holding the property will not be happy at all because they want to use the land a little bit more. If you continue on from verse 35, it goes in more on what happens in the year of Jubilee. Like, for example, and remember to stop me at any time. If you want to say something, you can stop me. Verse 35, Leviticus 25:35. If one of your fellow Israelites falls into poverty and cannot support himself, support him as you would a foreigner or a temporary resident, and allow him to live with you. If one of your fellow Israelites falls into poverty and cannot support himself, support him as you would support a foreigner or a temporary resident. Allow him to live with you. Verse 36. Do not charge interest or make a profit at his expense. Instead, show your fear of Elohim by letting him live with you as your relative. Remember, do not charge interest on money you lend him or make profit on food you sell him. I am Yahweh your Elohim who brought you out of the land of Egypt. The reason why I'm reading this right now is because if you look at, continue from verse 39. Verse 39, if one of your fellow Israelites falls into poverty and is forced to sell himself to you, do not treat him as a slave. Treat him, verse 40, Leviticus 25:40, treat him instead as a hired worker, as a temporary resident who lives with you, and he will serve you only until the year of Jubilee. Verse 41, at that time he and his children will no longer be obligated to you, and they will return to their clans and go back to the land originally allotted to their ancestors. So those who are serving you will serve you only until the year of Jubilee. On the year of Jubilee, then they can go. So the year of Jubilee is definitely a huge year in the land of Israel, but it happens only 50 years, once every 50 years. So it's not something that happens often. If you continue to read in this chapter 25, you will see more information as it relates to the year of Jubilee and how, people, slaves and stuff like that, and how things are resolved and things that are ended usually ends at the year of Jubilee. So a lot of things comes to an end at the year of Jubilee. People get their land back, people get their freedom back and stuff like that. And it's a time of celebration for some people, because if you are an industrialist, if you are a hardworking businessman or woman, and you have these people who are serving you, you want to use them for a little bit more, but at the year of Jubilee, they themselves are looking forward to the year of Jubilee. They're looking forward to being able to get their freedom back and get their stuff back and get their money back and, get and move back. Verse 47, suppose a foreigner, verse 47, Leviticus 25:47, Suppose a foreigner or a temporary resident becomes rich while living among you. Like how you have the Chinese and the Asians who are rich, in some of the neighborhoods sometimes. If any of your fellow Israelites fall into poverty and are forced to sell themselves to such a foreigner, because that's what happens when you get a job. We don't realize this, but actually, my brothers and sisters, when we go get a job, we're actually doing this without even realizing it. It's just that the heathen, the heathen has kind of glamorized it and make having a career as something glamorous. No, there's nothing good about having a career. You know what's really good? Having your own business, owning your own business, being the boss, being the one that people work for. That is what's good. That's what the Most High wants. The Most High wants us to be the head and not the tail. But the heathen has managed to convince us that selling ourselves into slavery is actually a good thing. What do? We go to school. We get a certificate. We get a job. When we get a job, we're selling ourselves to these people to work for them. Why are we working for them? So we can get some money and buy food. So we are actually living in poverty without even realizing it. It's just that it's all about perception. It's all about how you see things. It's all about how things are sold to you. We're dealing with people who are great marketers. The Europeans are great marketers. They know how to sell stuff. They will sell you anything. So they sell us. The poverty has been sold to us as something glamorous. So the idea of education. People don't realize that education actually keeps us poor, like Western education. When you get that certificate, you end up working for them for the rest of your life. When you can actually do better if you follow the system of the Most High. We're supposed to be entrepreneurs, supposed to own our own business, and we can if we apply the right principles that the Most High put in place. So what got my attention is the Most High talked about if your brother falls into poverty and sells himself, they sell themselves. That's what we do today when we get these jobs. We sell ourselves into these people working for them. So verse 47. Suppose a foreigner or a temporary resident becomes rich while living among you. If any of your fellow Israelites fall into poverty and are forced to sell themselves to such a foreigner or to a member of his family. Verse 48. They still retain the right to be bought back. Even after they have been purchased, they may be bought back by a brother, verse 49, an uncle or a cousin. In fact, anyone from the extended family may buy them back. They may also redeem themselves if they have prospered. Verse 50, Leviticus 25:50. They will negotiate the price of their freedom with the person who bought them. The price will be based on the number of years from the time they were sold until the next year of Jubilee. Whatever it will cost to hire a worker for that period of time. Verse 51. If many years still remain until Jubilee, they will repay the proper proportion of what they received when they sold themselves. Verse 52. If only a few years remain until the year of Jubilee, they will repay a small amount for their redemption. Verse 53. The foreigner must treat them as workers hired on a yearly basis. You must not allow a foreigner to treat any of your fellow Israelites harshly. That's why Moses killed that Egyptian, or killed that was oppressing Israelite. We can't allow this heathen to oppress any Israelite. If you see a Gentile say a Chinese or an European oppressing an Israelite and you keep quiet, that is a sin. Why is it a sin? First of all, what is a sin? Sin is the breaking of the law. Breaking of the law. So we are commanded that we should not allow a foreigner to abuse our brother or sister. We cannot allow that. That is unacceptable. So if we see it, we have to say something. We have to speak up. So it doesn't matter what, we cannot allow it. We cannot be okay with a foreigner oppressing our brother or sister. Verse 53, the foreigner must treat them as workers, hired on a yearly basis. Like when you sign your contract, when you get your job, and you sign your contract or whatever, on a yearly basis, you must not allow a foreigner to treat any of your fellow Israelite, brother or sister, your fellow Israelite, harshly. Verse 54, if any Israelite has not been bought back by the time of the year of Jubilee arrives, they and their children must be set free at that time. Verse 55, for the people of Israel belongs to me, the Most High. They are my servant, whom I brought out of the land of Egypt. I am Yahweh, your Elohim. And that's the end of Jubilees 25, Leviticus 25, which covers the year of Jubilee. So you can obviously see that if people sold their property, they don't have the money to get it back, or people sold themselves into slavery, into servanthood to serve, they don't have the money to redeem themselves, you can clearly see that they will be looking forward to the year of Jubilee. There are so many people who will be looking forward to the year of Jubilee, either to get their property back, or to redeem themselves, or to one thing or the other. So it's not a very small year. It's not a time that people just ignore. No, there are so many Israelites that have huge stake, huge interest, either because they're going to get something back, they're going to get their property back, they're going to get one thing or the other back on the year of Jubilee. So it's not a year that people forget. The only reason why we have forgotten is because of lawlessness, refusing to keep the law of the Most High, and the Most High rejecting us. Now we are scattered in the four corners of the earth. Now we're everywhere. We're scattered all over. So we have forgotten. But the scripture clearly shows that we have so much interest in observing the year of Jubilee, because we get a lot of things back. It's very beneficial. You're going to get one thing or the other back. So you can easily and confidently, peacefully sell your property. Use that money to do what you need to do, but knowing that you will get it back on the year of Jubilee. You're either going to get money and redeem it before the year of Jubilee, or if you don't have any money, you wait for the year of Jubilee, you're getting your property back. So that's basically that's about the year of Jubilee. But right now, I can't tell you the year of Jubilee is on this year or that year, because of the nature, the way it goes from 50 years to 50 years, 50 years to 50 years, 50 years to 50 years. It's not like the weekly Sabbath, where you can look at the phases of the moon and be able to tell when the Sabbath is, or the yearly feast, where you can, start with the month of Abib, usually in March or April. That's when the new year starts. Right now we're in the 10th month. So it's a little bit different from the yearly feast or the weekly Sabbath. This one is very different because it's every 50 years. So we cannot just choose that this is the year of Jubilee, whatever. So it depends on what our ancestors told us when the last Jubilee was. So again, like as I said in the beginning, in my lifetime and in your lifetime, we might get to experience at least 2 years of Jubilee, 1 or 2 years of Jubilee, because it's every 50 years. So that's what that's the information about the year of Jubilee, Sister Latanya.
Okay, thank you. I completely understand. Each scripture that you gave is very clear, and it ties into what my husband and I've been reading in the book of Jubilees, and it just confirmed some things with our spirit as well. So we'll just continue to pray and rely on the Holy Spirit. But yeah, you gave me complete clarity, and I really appreciate it. I really do.
All praises, all praises, all praises. So I know that in the future we will eventually know. We will know. It's just a matter of time. We will know when the year of Jubilee is. And it's definitely something that will be interesting to observe, because like someone like me, I will have to go to those people and say to them, okay, look, this is what the scripture says about the year of Jubilee. This is what it says. This is the right that you have. You have the right to get your land back. So what do you want to do? I'll probably offer them, let me pay you to keep it for the next 50 years. By the next 50 years I'll be gone. So, but anyway, that, of course, I'm not in the land of Israel. We do know that the Most High was specifically talking about the land he gave to the Israelites, so that the tribe cannot lose their land. So I'm in the property I'm talking about is in Africa. But anyway, the point is that we don't know when the year of Jubilee is right now. We don't really know, but I pray that Yah will reveal it to us, and we will know. It's every 50 years. It's definitely there. Whenever the last year of Jubilee was observed, all you have to do is to count 50 years after that, and then 50 years after that. Every 50 years is the year of Jubilee. So all praises to the Most High.
Thank you for your interest in this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us through WhatsApp. You can call us or send us a message. You can also email us at lawstogod@gmail.com. Check out our website at www.lawstogodskingdom.com. Download our mobile app from the Android store. Search for Laws to God app. You can also find us on Facebook. Just search for Laws to God. Don't forget, you can also use Skype to call us. Just download Skype on your phone and search for Laws to God. If you are in South Africa and you need a congregation to worship with, give us a call. For more information that we don't have here on YouTube, please download our app and check out our website, www.lawstogodskingdom.com. Help us spread this truth by sharing this video on your social media.